So, as you all find your rooms, one man missing, you don't find a whole lot of rest or respite. The night is filled with nightmares. Flashes of the battle before, memories of Trink, and there are moments where, half asleep, you feel like he's still with you. And there is that singular moment as you start to rise from your slumber in which you realize this is not the case. You wake to this distant sound of ringing bells. As quiet as they are, your keen senses able to pick them up, and enough of a change from the general ambience of the nightlife around you and the weather itself to rouse you. As you do so, I want you to give me a perception check, as you immediately get this sense of being watched. So, the way that this works, let me just grab our D&D scene here. There we go. If you would like to enter the giveaway, this will be our first perception check for the night. So, exclamation mark dice to enter the giveaway. This basically means that after I decide that the giveaway has gone on for long enough and enough people have entered, I will close the giveaway, and then somebody will win and get the chance to roll the dice on the screen. Okay, closing the giveaway now. Max. Okay, Max, hit us with the roll, my friend. Okay, so rolling a 12 on the dice and adding the perception of +7 brings us to 19. So, taking a look around, you immediately move your head towards the window. As you scan the room in that direction from left to right, before kind of instinctually rising up, ready to fight something, you instead in this moment decide to check your surroundings before making any sudden movements. You see no one in the room. It is completely dark. You can see a small amount of light is starting to filter through the windows, and there is a silhouette in the window. And there is a moment of fear that you feel before you recognize this is not a person necessarily on the other side of this window. You see these two glinting eyes, the moonlight reflecting in Alaric's gaze as he stares into the room, perched on the windowsill outside. Alaric, your wizard companion, for reasons not completely known, trapped in the body of a cat. That's okay, Firefly. Don't worry about it. You're all good. Alaric raises a single paw and lightly taps on the window in a motion for you to open it. Do you oblige? I'm opening the poll. So this is the second mechanic in the game. Everything is done on a voting process. The votes are completely open to improvisation, so you can type whatever you want, though I recommend you try and make it reasonable. And then the top option is the one that we go with. Okay, so deciding to oblige, you very slowly and quietly open the window. I need a sleight of hand check from you, chat, to see how quietly you can do so. As you are at this point all keenly aware that you do not want to draw attention to yourselves. It's cold. Yeah, it's actually cold here, dude. It's actually 13 degrees, which is not cold, but it's like uncomfortable cold, right? It's uncomfortably chilly. So I'm dressed up a little bit. I'm enjoying wearing clothes while I can. I'm not saying I'm a never nude, but I am saying that I like wearing clothes. I know. I bet a lot of people would love a 13 right now. That would be fantastic for a lot of people, I'm sure. Okay, closing the giveaway. Tilly. Okay, Tilly. Give us a roll, please. So your sleight of hand is +5. She won! She did it! She did it live! Oh. We also have a check bonus from Tilly. Kind of clutch. So, rolling a 3 with a +2 from your spirit bonus, there is a moment where you almost feel yourself gliding across the room. And you look down, you can see this strange spectral mist kind of coalescing beneath your feet. Not booted as they usually are. And you feel your step light, and your hands almost feel like they are floating through the air. There's this strange sensation of them being less tense and less intention behind the muscles as they move. Just enough, you start to open the latch on the window, and you can very clearly tell it's rusted. Luckily, you realize this as you let out just the faintest squeak, enough to be mistaken for a mouse. And then you manage to get just the right amount of tension to start prying it open very, very slowly. It's a +5, so it was a total of 10. So with a total of 10, this is the result. Kind of good thing that you put that check bonus in. Hello, Defectius. Good to see you, buddy. Hello, SoKite. We're just starting, SoKite. So, Alaric pops in, hopping over and through the window, and then pouncing onto the floor, and then looking around, seemingly cautiously, as you can tell with your passive insight. He seems a little bit on edge. The first thing he does is hop up onto the bed, as you go down to sit next to it once again, and simply says, listen, I'm not particularly good with people. I mean, what am I saying? You probably realized that already. Most people usually do fairly quickly after meeting me, but listen, after everything that happened last night, he kind of whispers it, I just wanted to make sure that you were okay. So, are you okay? Okay, I'm going to start the poll here. Oh, I've got to close it. Hang on. Let me refresh the vote real quick. So, what do you offer in response to this? Obviously, you don't have to write an essay. But, okay, so we've got a no, a fuck no. Everyone leaves me at some point. Damn, dude! That's heavy! Vote no? Okay. Tilly's going with the brutal one right now, okay? Off a sandwich? Oh my god, Firefly, what are you doing to that sandwich? Leave the sandwich alone! So you're actually okay, well, people can't see it on the screen, but that has 3 votes, at least. Okay. So, as you sit there, there's a moment where you almost let out an instinctual response. You realize that that might come off as cruel. You know that Alaric is not responsible. So you instead sit there for a few seconds, and then you offer a very kind of solemn statement that you're starting to feel like everybody leaves you at some point in time. Whether it's physically, spiritually, or emotionally, the things that have happened in your life leading you to feel as though everything is somewhat temporary. And this isn't something that you regard as positive or encouraging to enjoy every moment as if it was your last. Instead, something that provides sadness for you, that provides a sense of constant loss and fear. This recent event having really reinforced and doubled down on these sensations that you feel within yourself. So Alaric just kind of stutters a bit. It's just like, raises a single paw and then kind of like slowly sort of like taps you on the leg. As if, you know, a non-verbal there, but doesn't really understand how to accurately approach the situation. Well, listen, I'm not the best at consoling, but I did think it was pertinent for me to keep watch. It doesn't seem as though I myself have drawn much attention from the locals. They seem to regard me as little more than an oddity of sorts. I've made a considerable effort to not draw attention to myself, as I have for you and our allies. But anyway, I digress. I've been keeping watch on the town to see what might have come of the events of last night. As you can hear, it's drawn a little bit of attention. That's not all, though. They seem to be calling people towards the town square. I've seen a couple of streams of people filtering through the town towards it. I saw that Master Aaron, the innkeep downstairs, he walked his daughter to the town hall, but then came back and hasn't left yet. Now, if I'm to be correct, you and Trink had some sort of altercation with him. And you just kind of nod, as this is known. So I think we should proceed with caution here. I've not gone so far as to wander down. Should I draw attention to myself? I thought I should bring this to you personally. Also, I can't help but notice, but your owlbear friend is not here. And you sort of instinctually look around. I need you to give me a investigation check. So because of your wonderful headband of intelligence, which you have now put on once again, as you are starting to get dressed instinctually, you have a +4 to this modifier. Oh, the wolves are at it again. You hear that, chat? Okay. Closing the giveaway. Max again. Okay, Max. Investigation check, +4 to the roll. Okay, so with a total of 11, as you look around the room, you immediately go and you light the candle to try and bring a little bit of light into the space. Looking around, you see that there's a little nest of linens and such down towards the end of your bed, over its end, that Owlden usually nestles in and is not currently there. You see that there is some disturbance of dust in areas on the floor that lead out of the room, but you're unable to really tell any details past that. You know that he is not in here, and it seems as though he probably left of his own volition, or was lured out potentially, but was not dragged out or removed through magical means. The door is slightly ajar as you look towards it. Bribe with stick. Okay. So, Alaric looks to you. So how would you like to proceed? Gonna open the poll. So obviously you can kind of come up with your own shit here. You can obviously go and look for Alden. You could choose whether or not you're going to go, I don't know, out the window, or you could go through the door here. Essentially, I'm just looking for some kind of answer as to how you are going to actually go about your next action here. Wait, is this a reference, Papa? Parkour out window. No! Who's Sando? Sando is short for sandwich. Ah, I see. Yes. Send the sandwich to track him down. Oh, damn. I see some flirtation in my chat. Ooh. I'm very hyper today. Let's go. Yes. To be fair, though, Tilly, it's a little bit late for that. What does that mean? I'm saying, like, you already feel derailed, right? On your insides. No? Okay, maybe maybe you guys are thinking way more dirty than I am about this situation. I'm gonna shut up now. I was saying you feel sick. Damn it, dude. Fuck. I thought the same thing as you. Thank you, Papa. Jeez, dude. I was starting to, like, I could feel my body heat raising, you know? I'm like, oh no, what have I said? Okay, anyway. Flushed. You decide to call for Alden. I need a performance check from you, chat. Actually, no, let's make this animal handling. Okay, so animal handling check, exclamation mark dice to enter. Suddenly the beanie is a bit warm. Honestly, yes, Defectius. I was like, if this is how the rest of the session is going to go, I think I might need to take these clothes off. Ooh. Okay, closing the giveaway. Nades. Okay, Nay. Hit us with the roll. This, I believe, has a +3. Let me just double check. +5 +3 brings it to 8. So you try and emit, as best as you can, a natural enough sound that you won't draw attention to yourselves, but may draw the attention of a creature like Owlden to you. However, you wait a few minutes, and it doesn't really seem to have helped. You don't hear any rustling anywhere within the room or outside of it. You don't hear any immediate movement as a result of your call out towards Owlden. You don't know whether or not that's because it was simply the wrong kind of sound. You tried to disguise it too much. Maybe you did too good of a job at fitting in with the ambience of your surroundings. But regardless of anything that might have caused it, it did not seem to have the effect that you desired. So, what is your play here? Are you going to leave through the door? Leave through the window? Okay, I will. No, you stay.
You stay.
Lead through the wall while saying, oh yeah? I mean, I hate it, but I can't argue against it. I have to respect it. Okay, so you choose to leave via the normal door, not one you're making through yourself through the wall, as you enter into the corridor. Okay, let me see if I remember how to use this software. So, the corridor reveals itself to you, and good buddy Alaric. And you see that all the way down the corridor, everything is as you expect it to be. As you take a quick look down on what by now you assume is both Aaron Winbrook and his daughter Millie's rooms, you see that their doors are closed. You don't know if they're locked necessarily, but that is something that you may want to consider. There's also this stairway that leads down to the lower floors where you know that both Roga and Trenk previously were sleeping. So what would you like to do first? Do you want to go downstairs? Do you want to check either of these two rooms? What are you protecting Max from, Kitty? Who's coming for Max? Your spelling corrections? Oh, mean. You know what I love about these answers, Papa? I see that you're committed to writing and putting a lot more effort into making a silly option than you are about doing something reasonable. So I respect the commitment to the bit, you know? It's like, I will type 3 to 4 times more letters than necessary. Okay, so we've got a couple options here. We've got 2 people voting for listening at the doors. We've got check rooms as loudly as possible, peek through the keyhole, or kick down the door. Oh, my neck is so stiff today, chat. Hello, Scrit. Good to see you, dude. Listen at doors. Okay, I need a perception check from you, chat. Opening the giveaway as you move towards the first door. At this point in time, by the way, you can see through the windows on this side. You can see that the moon is currently in the process of going down, and the sun is in the process of coming up. This kind of this dawn now coming about as the new day starts. Okay, closing the giveaway. Firefly. Okay, Firefly. Show me what you got. Okay, so with a total of 18, high roller, by the way. Yeah, I nailed it, Papa. Yo, I love repeating myself with different words. It's my jam. Okay. So, pressing your ear up towards the door, you listen out. You listen intensely, keenly. Inside this room, you hear nothing. There's no movement inside. In fact, it is reassuringly quiet to the point where you do not believe anybody is inside this room. You take a look through the pee hole. I'm ending the stream. You take a look through the keyhole. Listen. Shut up. You take a look through the keyhole, and you could very clearly make out some detail within this room with your keen eyes. Don't look. Never look into the pee hole, chat. It's not a good idea and never will be. You can very clearly tell through the various objects littered throughout the room, whether they be toys, scrap bits of paper, bookcases either side, and the content on the shelves of them, that this is probably Millie's room. This is Millie Winbrook's room, Aaron's daughter. And she is very clearly not present, which you imagine she would be this early in the morning had she not been escorted away by her father earlier in the morning. Thanks, Papa, you're the best. So, you move towards the next door and do the same. And you get more or less the same result. As you look inside, let me just reveal that as well. You can see a similarly shaped room as you expect, much like the rooms in which you found yourself, with a slightly different layout inside. You can see that on the left, as you peek through the keyhole, there is also a weapon rack. And there seem to be a number of items on this rack, though there are very clearly sections where there are braces for things that are no longer there. In particular, you see a space for a shield to rest hanging on the wall, and it is not there currently. You don't know if that means that the shield has not been there for some time, or that it has been removed purposefully tonight. Again, there is nobody currently in this room. You can also see that there are drawers which seem to have been hastily left open, pulled out, some of them resting on the ground instead of in the wardrobes and drawers themselves. So, what would you like to do now? You have, at the very least, ascertained that there are no threats on this floor with you. And Owlden is not in either of these rooms either. The fact that Alaric said that Aaron Winbrook came back indicates that he is here, he is just not in his room. So where would you like to go? There's one obvious answer, but, you know, you guys have surprised me before. So I am hesitant to dictate your decisions for you. I take too much time trying to find the perfect clip timing. I'm the same, Sokai. I'm always like, ooh, you know, timing's important in comedy, right? I should make sure the timing is like absolutely like frame perfect. Burn down keep? Oh shit. Max is going off on one today. Okay, so you choose to go downstairs. Okay, cool. So. Let me just load the next map. Alaric and yourself wander down the stairs as quietly as you can. I need you to give me a stealth check, chat. I will roll Alaric's stealth check as well. Do I need to add him to the tracker thing? Quick reminder, by the way, that with the D&D Beyond overlay, you can open up the sheets for these characters at any point that you wish. To check their statistics. So Alaric has a +4 to stealth. And you have a +9, I believe. Yes, you do. Okay, I will roll for Alaric. I will close the giveaway as well. Susanna, give us our roll, please. Alaric gets a big ol' 7. Let's go, dude. Okay, Susanna with a check bonus as well. That little bit of security might come in clutch. Okay, so 9 + 9 + 2 brings us to a dirty 20. Quick maths! So, as both of you proceed down the stairs, there's a moment where Alaric seems to be paying a little bit too much attention with his ears, and not so much with his legs, as he stumbles down one of the stairs, but relatively quickly catches himself. Very nice. Okay, so on this floor, you are aware, you have, on the far right here, on this door, you have Trenk's room. In the middle is an unoccupied room, and on the far left, before heading outside, is Roga's room. So let's call them 3, 2, 1 from right to left. So 3, 2, 1. Which room are you going to check first? So 3 on the left with Trenk, 2 is unoccupied, 1 is Roga. Okay, seems like people are voting for 3, which is Trenk's old room. Falcon, what's wrong with you, mate? Okay, so you choose to open door number 3. Okay, inside door number 3, the door very quietly, as you push it, with a small creak, opens. And inside, you are relieved to see that lying on Trenk's bed is your owlbear companion, Owlden. You can see everything in the room is meticulously clean. Everything is put away exactly as it should be. The chair tucked underneath the desk. The weapon rack orderly and well organized. The cupboard closed. The bed made. And lying at its foot is Owlden. And as you look down towards him, you can see with a small amount of moonlight that shines in from the window, you're seeing for the first time just how much Owlden has grown physically in the time that you've been together. What would you like to do, chat? Do you want to go in there and wake him? Or do you want to continue checking the other rooms? He seems to be peaceful, you imagine. He is sleeping soundly, at the very least. Join him. Quietly put blanket. Aww. Blanket. I'm starting to think I should make the voting box larger for some of these answers. I should probably code the CSS so it extends when people do really long things, but yeah, one day. Okay. Hello, Chowder. So you enter the room as quietly as you can. Alaric waits at the doorway. And you sit down next to Owlden. Next to the bed. And you just kind of sit there for a while, quietly observing him. And begin to very gently stroke the fluff and feather of his coating. That's tricky though, because it would obscure the map. Yeah, that's the main downside. The bigger it is, the more space it takes up. Okay. So you wait here for a while. And after sitting with him for a time, he very gradually and gently begins to rouse from his slumber. And just kind of looks towards you with these sleepy eyes, and then just kind of nuzzles his head up to your hand before slowly arching his back and then jumping off onto the ground. And then just kind of brushing up against your leg and cooing very quietly. So, you're there with Alden. What do you do next? You still have these two other rooms. We hugging? Aw, that's cute. Okay, so you pull in Alden, embracing him. This kind of moment of quite intense grieving between the two of you, as you are both trying to accept what happens, and you're remembering the intense emotional distress that Alden seemed to essentially embody in that moment, kind of violently tearing away at the zombie beholder's flesh, even after it was very clearly dispatched of. And you're kind of thinking about the fact that although you have all of this history with Trank, prior to anybody else in your traveling group, it could be perhaps that this link between the two of you doesn't just manifest in the way of Alden following your orders and traveling with you and doing his best to protect you. There's also this empathetic bond between the two of you. This link where some of this intense anger, some of this intense fear and sense of loss is essentially being absorbed into Alden as well. Doesn't feel like it lessens your pain necessarily, but just this transference of emotional energy between the two of you. And you're thinking about how much of an emotional toll it must have taken on a creature that is not equipped to deal with that kind of emotional stress. Like you are. No kind of natural thought process is learned or unlearned to really process emotion. Okay, so what's your plan here? Again, just to remind you, you have these two rooms. One of them has Roga in, the furthest down the corridor towards the door. You have this empty room in the middle, and you also have, obviously, the main room of the inn itself, where Aaron may be waiting. If he's still here. Hello, Klefkey. Hey, thank you very much for the lurk. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the best wishes, Helen. I remember that episode, Papa. Now that you mention it, yeah, maybe. Maybe there's a little bit of... I took some inspiration, maybe. Okay, so we've got one vote for going to see Roga. Is everybody following suit, or do people have other ideas? As you begin to move towards the door. There is one thing worth noting. While we decide what you're going to do, I'm going to open a dice roll as well. Because, you know, given everything that happened and the way that it happened, you're a little bit more aware of how Alden and Alaric interact. And I want to see if you pick up on any changes to that behavior. Also, hello, Herb. It's great to see you. Hope you're doing all right. Okay, closing the giveaway. Okay, Kitty. Kitty, give us a roll, please. This is an insight check, so it will have a plus numbers to the roll. I'll just find out real quick. So rolling an 11, and then I believe a +5. Let me just double check. Insight +5, yeah. So a total of 16. As you look down to Alden, and there's a moment where you almost instinctually reach out down towards Alden to try and kind of pull him away from Alaric, given everything that happened the way that it did. And you actually see this remarkable change in maturity. Something that you don't really expect. All things considered, Alden has been much tamer than one would imagine for an owlbear. These intensely feral and aggressive creatures. Incredibly territorial, intensely protective. But there's this moment when Alden just kind of looks to Alaric and you expect something to happen. But Alden just simply stares and then turns with not so much as a single movement towards Alaric in any way. This sense of, you're not sure if it's triggered by remorse or some kind of recollection or some kind of recognition, rather, of responsibility. But Alden seems more mature, more disciplined in this moment than you are used to. Okay. So you decide to go and see Roga. So moving across the corridor, you first check to see if the door is locked. It is not. However, as you approach, you can already hear the sound of some kind of movement inside. You don't immediately feel worried, but as you peek through a gap in the door, you can see that Roga is in the process of donning armor and grabbing belongings, seemingly waking around the same time as yourself, or possibly being woken by your movements, perceiving them, and ready for any kind of occurrence. So let me reveal that. Roga, at this current point in time, down the other end of the room, staring out into the fading moonlight, turns towards you, looks towards you. You can see, with your insight check previous, this look of sadness that you imagine one might feel. Roga, as well, may not have had the best verbal relationship with any of you, but there was definitely this sense of kinship between him and Trenk as sort of old souls. People who have experienced wonders and pain beyond their years. And the kindness between them creating some kind of natural sort of friendship, kinship. But he looks determined. Doesn't speak, just looks towards you, nods, and then starts to walk down towards the end of the room with you as well. So, what is your plan here, chat? I need to know whether or not you are going to try and leave undetected, or whether or not you are going to explore the rest of the inn. As you are aware, if Alaric is correct, that the innkeeper, Aaron, came back to the inn after escorting his daughter towards the town meeting. Max is gonna burn everything down. I'm worried, you know. All it takes is a couple more pyromaniacs to join the chat during a session, and just everything falls apart. What a way to go. What a way for the campaign to end. Is that just a sound of a pig squealing? Yeah. I'm working on some new ambience tracks right now. Apologies. Just pretend there's a pig relatively nearby. To be fair, the farm is not that far away. Feel like my D&D character would be a pyromancer? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think that sounds about right. Be an evocation wizard, I reckon. Kind of similar to our boy Alaric here. Okay, so you have a brief moment of conversation between yourselves, and then you resolve to explore the area further and try and find out what the hell is going on and why Aaron has returned here. There must be some reason. So, I'm going to roll a stealth check for Roga and for Alden. So the first one is for Roga. Okay. Not bad. And the second one is for Alden. Actually, no, you roll Alden's check, so... Oh, wrong one, sorry. Didn't mean to open that. So, enter the giveaway to do a stealth check for Alden, please. Let me just check Alden's stealth. Understood. No, I'm using Alaric's previous check, Max. That's how it's working. Because I'm not going to ask you to roll again for Landria. Alaric's already failed technically, but the rest of you still have rolls to do. I want to try and limit the amount of repeat rolls that we do, if possible. Closing the giveaway. Okay, Kitty. Kitty, please give us our stealth check for our boy Owl Den. This has a +1 to the roll. Okay, so with a total of 5, Alden at this moment a little sleepy still. As your group begins to walk outside, there's a little bit of kind of bumping up against things. And unfortunately, as your group gets to the outside here, Alden kind of shakes and fluffs his feathers a little bit. And in the process accidentally back kicks the door. And it closes a little bit louder than you expect. Give me a perception check, chat. As you listen to see if anything has noticed this happening. Hello, Ethereal, by the way. Good to see you again. Gonna close the dice giveaway in a second here. As you are all, at this point in time, feeling the tension. You're all stressed. You haven't slept all that well, just enough to get through the day. Hopefully. However, in this moment, every sound drawing more attention in the quietness. As you're listening out, you are hearing this constant backdrop. You can hear the murmuring in the distance towards the north, where crowds are gathering far out of sight from where you are now. And also this kind of constant chorus of ringing bells. Again, very quiet and distant, but still present, as they are about a 20-minute walk away. Closing the giveaway. Okay, Herb, give us our perception check, please, as +7 to the roll. Damn, that's quick. Okay, so with a total of 10, listening out as best as you can, you do not hear anything. You hear everything that I've described and nothing more. You do not know necessarily if that means because nothing is waiting for you, or if nothing heard you and so therefore didn't make a sound, or if you're just feeling particularly stressed, anxious, and finding it difficult to perceive things at this moment in time. So, you currently have the side door or you have the front door. Which door would you like to take? Honestly, I feel that, yeah. It's interesting sometimes when descriptions just come to you very, very quickly because you relate to them, you know? So just so you're all aware, this is the side door where you are currently. The front door is over to the left. Okay, so you're all taking the side door here, closing the giveaway. Okay, I just need to know how you are entering the room. Are you trying to enter quietly, or are you trying to surprise anybody waiting inside? So I'm just refreshing the poll. Screaming, war cry. This is where you come in with the Kool-Aid man, Papa Crimes. This was the moment, but now you can't do it because you already used that joke. How does it feel? I have no regrets. Understood. It's a better way to live. Okay, so you decide to enter quietly. Understood. So, I'm going to need a sleight of hand check from you, chat, to try and open this door as quietly as possible. So for you, this has a +5 to the roll. Hello, Spaceman Sam, by the way. I did see you a little bit earlier. I just didn't have a chance to give you your greeting that you deserve. Appreciate you stopping by. I almost typed ! vote dice. Oh, imagine. I would like to roll a dice, please. Please, Mr. Streamer, dice? Dice now? Okay. Cool. Closing the giveaway. Papa Crimes. Okay, Papa. +5 to the roll. Let's see what you get. Okay, so with a total of 18, you subtly, quietly managed to open this back door. Sorry, you managed to open this side door and enter into it to get a look around the space before anything seems to notice you. Ethereal, thank you very much for the follow, by the way. As Susanna has pointed out, the alerts are muted, but I thank you for joining us. Okay. So let me just remove the fog here. Immediately as you look inside, reveal that, you see the familiar sights, many of the chairs tucked under tables from the previous night's patronage, though messy as it is, a little disorganized, but just tidy enough to be able to navigate the space well. You see that there are a number of candles lit, which are illuminating the room in what would ordinarily be quite a kind of cozy and homely manner, but in the circumstances is a little bit unsettling, a little bit unnerving. Thank you very much, Sam. I appreciate that. As you take a look around, you don't notice anybody immediately. However, you see a little bit of motion down towards the fire, which is crackling. And you see an arm putting something down onto the armrest of the chair. Given your familiarity, you can tell this individual sitting in this chair. It's red, upholstered back facing towards you, obscuring head or body. The arm itself, the only thing immediately visible. It's placed a vial down on the armrest. It's a little far away for you to discern any kind of detail. But give me a perception check. I'll reveal that on the screen. To try and determine what may have been in this vial, though the liquid is very clearly being either disposed of or drank. Consumed, I should probably say, more accurately. Okay, closing the giveaway. Also, hello, Shadow. Okay, Kitty. Very lucky today, Kitty. Come on, this is the roll. This is the one, Kitty. +7 to the roll for the perception check. There it is, dude. Okay, so with a total of 26. That was it. The streak is broken. You're back to being a high roller, Kitty. Congratulations. As you stare down the room, trying to get a sense of what may have been in this vial, you see as it's placed down, there's a small fragment of something that clatters around in the bottom of the vial as it's placed down onto the reasonably hard armrest of this chair. It's hard to tell coloration. It seems to be dark in color. But there's something about the curved shape that's unusual to you. And the way that part of this material seems to have degraded in certain areas. It seems chipped in places. And it reminds you of something. And it's not a particularly pleasant recollection. It reminds you of a toenail in the bottom of this vial. I would like you to give me an Arcana check to see if you know what this might be. You can't have my toenail? I better see that toenail in the post, bro. Come on now. Don't hold that on me. Okay. Closing the giveaway. This will have a +4 to the roll, I believe. Let me just double check. Papa Crimes. What's the roll, my ducky? Oh, we have a +6. We have proficiency in this. With a dirty 20 then. So, 14 plus 6. With the filthy 20 on the Arcana check, you immediately recognize from both the shape of the vial, not a glass, not a bottle, but a vial, and this remnant of some kind of material in the bottom, that this is a potion. This is a potion that gives the consumer a certain degree of increased vigor. This is a giant strength potion, though you're unable to tell immediately what kind. This is not a poison that has been consumed. This is something that has been consumed to make the imbiber stronger than they are ordinarily capable of being. So, what would you like to do here, chat? You are about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, on the cusp of 30 feet away at this point in time. The rest of your companions are lining up behind you, unaware of what's going on. This is all happening within a couple of seconds here as you look into this room. It doesn't seem that he knows exactly where you are, but it's possible that he may know that you're up and moving around. Just for clarity as well, the vial is now empty. The only thing left is this toenail at the bottom of it. Whatever liquid was once inside it is gone. Greetings, peasant. How dare. Is it a refillable, like a bottomless soda kind of sitch? Yeah, like you mean if you go to the barrels across the room and fill it up, you know, if that toenail's still got any magic left in it, you still get another round? Yeah, I'm afraid that's not the case. But it's worth a try. I understand why you asked. It's worth a shot. Sometimes you just gotta shoot your shot, right? That's what Twitter has taught me lately. Let me move the map a little bit because it's kind of hard to see going on. We don't need that other stuff here. I'm going to bring up my OneNote as well. Okay. So we've currently got ninja roll closer. Okay, so we've got a couple of options here, chat. You may want to work towards a similar goal here. We currently have two answers which are social for yelling or calling out in the form of a yell or a hello. So feel free to change your vote at any time. You can re-vote to change your previous answer. Vote hello. Okay, so you speak out across the room, not necessarily aggressively, but just in a means to try and catch Aaron's attention. And as you do this, you see the chair shift ever so slightly, probably in a little bit of a jump scare. As Aaron hears you say this. You hear what is probably a very deep inhale from the other side of the room, which you're only just able to make out past the honestly quite loudly crackling fire at the other end of the room. And Aaron begins to stand from the chair. You can see down at his side, on his left hand, a shield is strapped. He's not brandishing any kind of weapon. But you can also see on the exposed areas of his hands, of his arm, and also of his neck, you can see that the veins are somewhat engorged, strained. Probably the effect of this potion taking place, which is making him imbued with some unnatural strength. He grits his teeth for a few seconds and then seems to attempt to relax slightly. So, I'm assuming we can have you to thank for all that chaos. I suppose I'm to blame partially. The rest of your friends out there with you, tell them to come in. We should talk. What do you do? Do you respond and let people inside? Or are you going to hold them outside and speak to him alone? Okay. Ivan, hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for joining us. Feel free to kind of sit back and relax or get involved with the voting and dice rolls. It's a very simple system which you can jump in at any time. If you just follow along with chat. I'm sure someone will be willing to explain how those systems work to you if they have a second. Thank you very much for the follow as well. Okay, so you decide to go in together. So all of you move inside and take up various positions along the slightly elevated rear area of the inn. Alaric kind of jumps up onto the table and sits. Oh, that's perfectly okay, Ivan. Here's the thing. Nobody is solely responsible for any kind of mishap in this game. It's all collaborative. You can feel free to just tag along with other people's votes. Video time maybe. Actually, you know what? That's a really good idea, Tilly. We have a couple of people who are new here at the moment. So what we'll do before we get into this conversation is I'm just going to roll a video which explains how the game works, because we've had some new followers coming in today. I'm going to do a very quick bathroom trip, and then we will get right back into it with this conversation as it breaks out. So here's the intro video. I will see you in a couple of seconds, chat. Hello everyone. To get you primed for the Twitch Plays D&D sessions, here's a little introduction video. Dungeons & Dragons is a tabletop role-playing game, focused around interactive storytelling and turn-based combat. It works in a similar way to video games that you're probably familiar with. You have a character, they are good or bad at different things, and you work towards completing a goal. However, Unlike most modern media, in Dungeons & Dragons you have the freedom to come up with your own solutions. Because every decision is made by real people in real time, as opposed to programmed in advance, you can technically attempt anything, so long as you can imagine it. That's not to say you'll actually be successful at seducing that dragon though. Bard. That's where dice come in. You roll a 20-sided die, you add the modifier that represents how good your character is at completing that kind of task, and in most cases you either succeed or fail as a result. Playing a rogue? Chances are you're good at stealth, so you'll have a higher modifier to add to the roll and are therefore more likely to succeed at sneaking past those guards than the brutish paladin. Usually, D&D is played with groups of people, with each player controlling a single character, and a dungeon master or DM controlling the world itself and narrating the story as it unfolds. We, however, will be playing in a more unique format, designed to allow people of all levels of experience to participate in the epic storytelling. You, Twitch chat, control a single character. Throughout the stream, I, the DM, will ask you what you want your character to do. A poll will open on the screen, and you can cast your vote by typing !vote, space, and then your answer. This can be anything from attacking with your sword to offering a sandwich. You can change your vote at any time by simply voting again. The option with the most votes will win, and that is the action your character will take. If your action would require a dice roll to determine the result, such as the previously mentioned stealth attempt, a dice giveaway will open for everyone to enter by typing !dice. If you win, you're granted permission to roll the dice on screen. I'll then do some quick maths and narrate the outcome based on the total result. That's it! Keep your eyes and ears sharp for opportunities to vote, enter giveaways, and discuss plans with your fellow chatters. My name is Hecate, your Dungeon Master, and welcome to Twitch Plays D&D. Okay, oh, I'm back. Oh, thanks, Firefly. Oh no, did you miss it again, Kaya? It's on YouTube. Oh, you can't see me. Sorry. Yeah, I love muting myself. It's so fun. Okay, there we go. No, I had my volume fader down on my mic. My bad. I didn't want you to hear toilet flushing sounds. Okay, I'm sorry, chat. If you want that included in the stream next time, you let me know. I said that's unlucky, Kaya. Hopefully you'll catch it next time. Okay, so getting back into the situation. Vote toilet sounds. I see. Okay, where are we at? So, Aaron looks across the room. I'm going to do a roll. Okay, interesting. So, he looks out into the space, and he seems to be looking for something. Right? But he doesn't really seem to understand from context, from your faces, the way you move, your body language that has changed since the occurrences of last night, what exactly it means. He just kind of looks towards you. Where's Trink? How do you respond? Vote sad cat? You just make sad cat face? I don't think he understands that. So he's looking at you very confused. No, Kaya. Oh my fucking god, he fucking did. Too soon, man. Too soon. Okay, So currently the most voted for is Sad Cat. So if you want your character to make the Sad Cat face, like, that's completely up to you. I'm willing to oblige. Obviously, I'm not going to do it physically, but I will describe in detail how your character makes Sad Cat face. Okay, it looks like we're going with Sad Cat, chat. All right. So as he asks this question, you are unable to hold back the sort of flooding, overflowing emotions that you feel when Trink is brought up. This is the first time that Trink's name has actually been mentioned. Alaric obviously hinted towards it, towards the events of last night, but this is the first time you're actually hearing Trink's name since everything took place. And you feel your otherwise stoic expression begin to crack through the seams in this bravery, this inspirational heroism that you seem to exude that draws people towards you and makes them inclined to follow you. This mask begins to drop, and revealed in that moment is just the depth of the sadness that you feel for losing your friend. I need you to give me an insight check, chat, to see what you pick up on regarding Aaron's response to this. At this point in time, by the way, the light in the room is beginning to shift ever so slightly, as more of it is flowing through the windows themselves, and less being directly a result of the candlelight in the room. As time passes, you're very close towards morning fully breaking at this point in time. Hello, Bean. Great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Closing the giveaway. Herb! Okay, Herb. What's the sitch? So +5 to the roll. Jeez! Or as my good friend Daniel Fenner would say, sheesh! So with a total of 24, as you look across the room, you see some of the tension in Aaron is momentarily relieved. You see a look of empathy on his face. While previously he was kind of feeling, or seemed to be defensive, he seemed to feel like he was preparing for some kind of confrontation, he kind of just lets his shoulders drop a little bit. The shield falls a little bit more down to his side, and his grasp within the clasps of it kind of seems to relax a little bit. And he just looks back at you. I'm sorry. I assume that's why you did all that. He just kind of points out the window to his left. And you can see, as you stare out of it, you can actually see that there is a smoke plume that is visible even from this distance over the tree line of what you imagine to be the church that was lit alight and may have spread to other areas potentially, as it has most likely been burning through the night. Let me just check something real quick. So Aaron looks to you again. You know, for what it's worth, I understand. I'm sure, much as some other people feel in this place, it was just a matter of time before someone got tired of waiting. Before our sins caught up to us and the living began to be punished for our unwillingness to take care of our dead. Be that as it may. And you can see the tension begin to return to his muscles once again as he clasps the shield in his left hand. And he tenses his right fist. Again, no weapon drawn. You did what you felt you needed to do. And now I am here to do what has been asked of me. For what it's worth, I hold no ill will towards you or your friends. But they are not giving me a choice. I beg you, if you have any means to tell me that I should do otherwise, this is the last stop for either one of us. So, is there anything you say in an attempt to prevent what is very clearly going to be a confrontation? Doesn't have to be super descriptive. It can simply be a subject that you want to raise. Whether it's reminding him of all of the things that you've done since you've been here, the good times in the inn. You could run away. There's any number of things that you could do. You could attempt to probe further, ask questions. What's that outside the window? And then run away. I hate it. Oh, Falcon's got something that he thinks would be worth trying. Oh god, that's Firefly cutting straight to the point there. Okay. So you try to empathize with him, you speak out towards him, and you ask him to think about his daughter. If he kills you, if he takes your group down, he's a killer. If he dies, he leaves his daughter an orphan. I need a persuasion check from you, chat, with advantage. So we'll be rolling twice, as this is a pretty compelling argument that you are making. So first roll will determine our baseline, and then the second roll, if it is higher than the first, will be our new result for the dice roll. Isn't this more like intimidation? It could be. It could be depending on how it's worded. You know what? Let's open a new giveaway. Let's open a new vote. That's a very good point, Papa Crimes. Thank you for bringing that up. I would like you guys to vote for persuade or intimidate. You are better at intimidation, as you can use your strength to do so, but obviously the result will be different. This person has their own thoughts, feelings, and history that may make certain types of convincing or intimidation more effective than others. So it's whether or not you choose to go with the... If you put more emphasis on the fact that if he dies, or when he dies, would probably be the more correct phrasing in that circumstance. Or you're trying to plead with him and think about what he is doing and what he will become. Okay, so you choose to persuade. So this will be the persuasion check then. But thank you. I do appreciate that bringing you up because... Sorry, I do appreciate you bringing that up because it is important to distinguish between those two things. Okay, so closing the giveaway. The first roll goes to Infected Kitty. Okay, Kitty, give us our baseline. All do... Oh, hang on. Yeah, so you do have a -2 to the modifier. But you have added a check bonus from Falcon. So our first roll becomes a 5 total. No negative, but no positive either. Unfortunately, Kitty is still swinging pretty hard with these rolls. Okay, the second giveaway. Anything above a 5 is an improvement at this point. Oh, sorry, wrong button. So, second giveaway. Anything that has advantage, which is, you know, maybe there is an ability you have that gives you advantage, or it could be simply the fact that your justification for what you were doing and the way you're doing it is much better than like a stock ordinary decision. So in this point, you brought up his daughter, which is very obviously a significant thing to him. I am basically saying that you are more likely to succeed on this check. So with advantage, you roll twice, take the higher. With disadvantage, you roll twice and you take the lowest result. Closing the giveaway. Okay, Intrepid Firefly, please give us our second roll with a flat bonus to it. Or no bonus, more accurately. Okay, so with advantage, you get a 17. Let me just crack my neck real quick, which is probably in character. So as you look down towards Aaron, and he looks up towards you, and you have this exchange of words, this battle of wills almost, as you try and reach out to him to try and prevent bloodshed and violence. In the wake of what you witnessed last night, the death of one of your closest allies, you do not want more people to die for this town to be free of what is very clearly some kind of sinister force that has its grips on it. Close the vote. Aaron looks to you, and again, you can start to see this determination begin to fade. His elevated breathing that he very clearly has, this potion that he's taken, although it is magical in its manner, putting a significant stress on his body, causing him to breathe a lot faster, a lot heavier, and he starts to slow down. He starts to take in more of his surroundings. His pupils, incredibly dilated at this point, begin to return down to their usual size. He kind of stares across the room towards you for a couple of moments. Then he raises his shield, and there's a moment where your entire party gets ready to draw their weapons, but then you hear him begin to unstrap the shield from his forearm, and then it clatters to the ground. And he kind of just places both of his hands clasping at the wooden shelf of the bar, gripping incredibly tightly, to the point where you can see that part of the bar is actually breaking. And you can just see he starts to almost start hyperventilating, and then he vomits all over the bar. And then begins to kind of gasp. What do you do? Clearly, in this moment, the stress that he had put himself under, kind of this tension leaving, but the repercussions all the same. As this incredibly strong magical imbuement has taken a toll on him. Okay, let me just check that. Okay, so you move over to help Aaron clean up the mess. As he starts to kind of move behind the bar, he grabs a couple of cloths and slaps them onto the bar itself as he very cautiously watches you as you all approach from the other side of the room. And both Roga and yourself begin to mop up the mess, some of the bits that have spilled onto the floor. There's a moment where you have to stop Alden as he kind of instinctively moves over towards the puddle of vomit, kind of coalescing on the ground, and like seems as though he's about to go and eat it. And you have to kind of just shoo him away. But in a couple of minutes, you kind of begin to clean the place up. Aaron takes a deep breath. And negotiations start. Oh, sorry, the recap is not accurate. Don't worry about it. My apologies. To give you a very quick recap, essentially, you woke up, Alaric wanted a bit of a chat, you had a little bit of an exploration of the area as it seemed like something unusual was going on. Delete it for now, that's not a bad idea. Delcom recap. Good idea, Max. Okay, so yeah, you had to wander around, you found some things that made you feel very emotional, and it turned out that Aaron had been waiting for you down in the inn. There are bells ringing in the distance. Some kind of town meeting has probably been called, as the town has woken in the early hours of the morning to find the smoke plume coming from the church that you burned down. So we're now kind of dealing with the repercussions of that. That's a very quick and dirty version. Quite literally at this point as you are mopping up puke. So Aaron looks to you. Listen, cards on the table. I was fully prepared to attempt to subdue you and your friends. I highly doubt I would have been successful even with that thing, pointing over towards the empty potion, which you're now very clearly able to see has a fragment of a giant's toenail in it, in the bottom. But they left me with very little other choice. They found out about what you did, and they sent me to be the messenger of sorts. Either I was to subdue you, or fall myself and, I suppose, possibly be a patsy in your place. I assume you have a plan, yes? You have a plan for how to deal with the situation? I'm not sure how much information I can give you, but I will do my best. Short of any kind of lead you may have. Did you find anything there? Might help cut down on the amount of explaining I need to do. So, that's the question, chat. Do you say that you have a plan? Do you have a plan that I don't know about as a DM? Or do you disclose some of the information that you found when you were exploring the parish? How are you going to enter into these negotiations of information? The plan is Peepo Sprint. Great plan. Okay. What is your plan? Chat, what is your plan here? You spelt it right, Max? So we've got one for disclose info, one for revealing the info. So you can kind of leave these, you can kind of meld these together a little bit. There's currently 2 for leaving Willowdale, which is definitely an option. Oh, Chowder, you put it in the wrong in order. I'll vote for you, though. Should be like this. Okay, so you decide to disclose the information that you had found. Okay, interesting. So as you all take a seat, doing your best to sort of ignore the sounds happening outside. Once again, there's ringing of bells. The murmuring seems to be getting louder in the distance as crowds are sort of congregating in that area towards the Willow Halls. And you go over the location of the central obelisk The hideout that you had found in a secret tunnel underneath the church itself, that an individual named J. something Lazaro had dug out and was hiding there, away from some kind of force. And Aaron actually seems a little shocked to hear about this. Just how much you uncovered, the fact that you got to the heart of the forlorn parish, the heart of this undead colony, and actually found all of these things. He talks about how he was just expecting you to go on a quick scouting mission to look there if you decided to follow up on the clues that he gave you. He wasn't expecting you to go as deep in and find so much as you did. So, you are aware then of this place being at the center of the ritual circle. Now, you may have gathered by now that myself and the forces at play here are in league with one another, to an extent. Though I would argue at this point I feel more like a pawn than a partner. I think if we are to succeed here, it is important that I am forthcoming about the part that I play in everything here, everything that has happened and what is supposed to happen from here onward. Myself and the High Shields. The three of us are not who you think that we are. We are not from this place. Not a surprise for them, but perhaps for me. This visage you see before you is a facsimile. It is an appropriation of a man who once lived here. Myself, Akara, and Matur are part of a colony. A people able to change our forms. A convenient means by which we have, at various times over our lives, been responsible for infiltrating areas of interest. The undead scourge that persists here was not one created from angering the gods of death. It was a test. We were sent here because this is not the only place across the lands where these circles, these ancient artifacts, exist. It is but one of many. They are ancient, they are unknown, and we were sent here by forces only vaguely known to us to see what would happen if they were disturbed. As you can see, we found the effects of disturbing the circle to be quite dire indeed. We ourselves are lucky that we were not chosen by the monoliths to be transformed as well. It is by a stroke of luck that we ourselves survived the outbreak. We did not come here as a result of it to save this place. We are in fact the cause of the outbreak itself, meddling with forces that we had no business meddling with, in the name of people who we had gotten involved with. Now, I was stationed here because it was convenient. Because being here meant that I could be the eyes and the ears for the High Shields. Anything changes, I'm the first to know. Anyone new shows up, any circumstances change. Anytime the people start talking about something they find, I'm the first to hear about it. Here at the inn, where people come to meet, to discuss, to congregate, to let their lips be looser than their ordinary living would allow them. You want to do this deception check? You mean an insight check? You want to do that? Here you go. You can do an insight check, chat. That is a option you can do with channel points, but I'm assuming a lot of people are just listening. So this is to determine how much of this story you believe. Over time, being here as I am, I grown to care for the people here. I grew to care for the unknowingly orphaned daughter. I became the father I needed to be. And I have struggled since with the charge, the responsibility I was dealt. My compatriots think that I have gone soft, and that is probably true. However, I do urge you, I implore you to trust me when I say that I do not want this place to fall. I do not want to hurt people such as yourselves. I want this to end. I am tired. I am exhausted of the role that I have played for so long. So if you can help me, I will do what I can to aid you. Okay, closing the giveaway. Max. Okay, Max, insight check. There's a +5 to the roll. Okay. So with a total of 9, you're really struggling to get a read on him. You don't really know whether or not he is telling the truth. Your instinct says to trust him. No one this forthcoming about sensitive details like this is likely to be lying. You know, there are very clearly parts of this story that he could have left out, such as revealing his true nature. Thank you. So you're not sure either way, but you keep listening all the same. And you use your instinct to tell you whether or not to trust him. Well, rather than any kind of body language you've picked up or anything like that. Now, that brings us to the role that you and yours have to play. When you arrived here, we all figured it would be a short-lived visit. You would make a bit of coin and head on your way, much as I suppose you assumed would be the case as well. However, as you wandered the place, as you uncovered things we did not expect you to uncover, they started to get nervous. And when they're nervous, I start to worry about the well-being of the people here. Now, I'm just the scout. I am not the executioner. I am not the cleanup. I am not the researcher. I am a scout and nothing more. In many ways, I'm not even a fighter. But I'm good with people, and that makes me useful. Matur and Nakara, however, the High Shields as you know them, they are far more ruthless, far more inclined to paranoia and to eradicating risks as they appear. The leader of our cluster, myself, Akara, and Matur, is Matur himself. He is the brains behind the organization. He is the one that was in contact with the faction that employed us. However, that does not mean that we are not beholden to our employers. It wasn't long before we all realized that having provoked the magical forces, kept at bay by these monoliths, after this outbreak started, well, we figured out that the power residing within them, the way that this would be used as a weapon, well, we had to be disposable as well. So, we dragged things out. We told the townspeople we were looking for a cure. We told our benefactors, our employers, that we did not yet have the information necessary to report any kind of means of controlling it. And so they left us alone. However, we are running out of time. We have nothing to show for our research. We have uncovered very little, in fact. And that is making Matur and Akara very, very nervous. And when they get nervous, people start to die, as you can see. So you and your party, at this point in time, as far as they are concerned, you are to be the scapegoats. They know what you've done, and then they intend to use the fire, as far as they're probably going to frame it, extermination of the people's loved ones as a means to lead a revolt and possibly for them to escape in the chaos. They will use you and what you've done to turn the people against you. If your plan is to confront them, it will not be easy. I'm aware that you have done things to convince the locals of your manner, your willingness to help. But the High Shields, they are the savior of this place as far as the locals are concerned. And it will be hard to swing if it's their word against yours. So, my question to you is, will you help me? So, starting a poll. Recruit the crabs? You could think about it. While you vote, I eat chocolate. That's the deal. Can we also get chocolate, though? No. I'm eating Kinder chocolate. Sponsor me, please. Kinder. Not just for baby. Okay, so you choose to help. As you listen to this story, trying to listen keenly to the details, looking for anything in the story that you might be able to exploit to gain an edge over your opponents. You agree to help. Hearing the plight of this man, the situation he's put himself in, and the fact that he very clearly knows that he is going to be at the center of this confrontation, having probably betrayed his fellow kin in the process of telling you this information. You kind of admire the commitment here to the safety of the people of Willowdale, this found family perhaps of his, over the people that he traveled here with in the first place. Okay. So you know that Aaron and the High Shields have some sort of ability to shapeshift, to change their appearance. You're not entirely sure if that means through illusion or physically changing their biology, but they seem to be hired for this purpose because of how good they are at blending in with a community. You know that Matur High Shield is their ringleader. And the last thing that Aaron discloses to you regarding how he thinks you can proceed is that he believes that your best bet is through Akara High Shield herself. He discloses to you that Akara High Shield is incredibly vain. to the point of Akara and Aaron having conversations between themselves, where Akara very quickly thinks that she should be the one in charge. She should be the one running the operation, because Matur is turning up jack shit. They've been here for almost a year now, and they've learned very little. And she thinks that if she was in charge, she could move things forward a lot quicker than he has. So Aaron thinks that might be a point that you might be able to exploit in your favor. Can you ask what Matthias is? You could if you want to. I can open the poll if there's any questions you want to ask. Dummy mommy time? Herb, what are you doing? I opened the vote at exactly the right time. That's on the video now, Herb. You can't get rid of it. By the way, I'm not just going to go with the most voted for here. I will have you ask Aaron all of the questions that are reasonable that you bring up. Okay. The first thing you ask is, what is Matthias? I need you to give me a persuasion check here, chat. As you ask this, he seems very hesitant to reply. But he's very clearly thinking about something. So I need a persuasion check here to try and get him that little bit closer to disclosing this information to you. Oh, thank you, Tilly. I appreciate that. Yeah. Because of the way the voting system works, if you want multiple words, you have to use underscores. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, closing the giveaway. Falcon 1666. Okay, Falcon. Give us a roll, please. Again, this is a -2. No problem at all, Ivan. No problem at all. Okay, so with a total of 8. In fact, I'll say you have advantage because you've already succeeded on your previous persuasion check. So we'll do another dice roll. So this will be with advantage. So your baseline is 8, sorry. I feel like that makes sense. Closing the giveaway. Okay, Herb. So, roll again, please, with a -2. Okay, so it's 8 again. So, a very determined 8. With that, the timeline remains intact. Good job, chat. Okay, so as you ask him this question, he says, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, he is not what he seems. He is somewhat of a pet project of Matur's. He was an adventurer that came here some time ago. And he is an example of what happens to those who learn a little bit too much, who ask too many questions, and go where they don't belong. Yep. I will refresh the vote in case there's any other follow-up questions you want to ask. Sorry, you can vote again. Could you repeat that? No! I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. Yo, real quick. Anyone got a mic? These rice cakes are really distracting. They're really loud, yeah. So, basically, Aaron said that Matthias is not what he seems. He's not what people say he is. Matthias is a pet project of Mature. And is an example of what happens to people who ask too many questions or go where they don't belong. He's an adventurer that came here some time ago and then mysteriously disappeared. No, that's fine, Ivan, but you need to make sure you put vote before it, like exclamation mark vote, and then the thing. So I saw some other votes for this before, so I'll go with it. That's okay, Ivan. It's a little bit of a learning curve, you know? You'll figure it out, no problem. You just jump in when you feel comfortable. It doesn't detract from the game at all if you make a mistake or anything like that. It's completely fine. It doesn't like distract anybody or like throw off the stream and shit like that. It's totally okay. Don't worry about it, please. Can we fix him? So you ask this question. To be perfectly honest, I don't really know. I know that having the process be reversible was not part of the intent of the experiments. All I know is that there was some kind of procedure that Mature enacted upon him. Something about utilizing the bloodline deep within him to perform some kind of transfiguration, some sort of transformation. I'm not really inclined to the arcane myself, so I didn't quite understand. All I know is that what has happened to his body would be incredibly difficult to undo. However, I believe that perhaps what has been done to his mind might be reversible. But I do not possess the means to do so. I know that they used magics to placate him, to subdue him, to make him more useful. But as I said, I do not possess such means. Akara might. Mature might, but they have not disclosed as much to me. Alaric kind of pops up onto the bar and wanders towards Aaron, peering intensely at him. And Aaron seems pretty thrown off by this. And sort of instinctively kind of backs away. And then his mouth just drops open in a look of shock as Alaric begins to speak, clearly completely unaware that Alaric was a talking cat. So, you decided to perform some kind of experimentation without any indication of the damage it would cause, or whether it would have any kind of effect at all other than to kill this man. And let me guess, as he peers down towards the vial, that toenail over there, to make that concoction of yours, was pulled from Matthias himself. And Aaron just kind of nods in shame. So the poor man, unbeknownst to him with giant's blood, was transformed into that monster we see walking around with that cage. And Aaron just nods again. Quite a predicament. Well, and Alaric looks to you. I'm afraid that I also do not currently possess the means to reverse such an effect. It's possible if we were to find a scroll or magical item that possesses such magic, I might be able to try. There's no guarantee of success, but I could try. Aaron just kind of chirps up and says, oh, well, I know that Matur and Akara, they have a repository in the castle that they live in, where there are a number of magical scrolls that they've collected over the years. I don't know if such a magic would be there. I've not looked at any of them myself. As I said, I'm not inclined towards the arcane, but there's a chance that there's magic there that they have stored on the off chance that they need it. Now it just kind of looks towards you. Well, that's definitely an option if we need another ally. I'm sure we would manage to convince a creature that has been treated so cruelly to join our cause against them. Are there any other questions that you want to ask, chat? Any other things that you would like to question? If you don't, that's fine. And if nobody votes, then I'll know there's nothing else you want to ask. I just want to double check if there's anything that you feel inclined to ask before everything carries on as is. What's your opinion on sandwiches? Fucking love them, mate. How's the come down? Taking a look at him, you imagine fucking awful. The potion is definitely worn off now. And you can see he's shaking a little bit. He's getting a little bit of muscle twitch. And there's like a darkness to the bags under his eyes. You nailed it, Ivan. You nailed it. I mean, obviously, the whole thing doesn't show up, but... So I know it's a good one? Exactly. You can't get those high highs without the low lows. You did it. Yeah, you nailed it, Ivan. It was perfect. Just so you're all aware, though, like, don't feel you have to do, like, super long-winded sentences. You can literally just say... like, vote betrayal, for example, and then that would be more or less the same thing, where I'll get from context what you mean. So don't feel like you have to write out a whole sentence. It can just be like a word. Or two, or three, or four. Or in this case, several. Or booba. Okay, so how will I know you will not betray us? So you ask that question, and you think to yourself, how you'll be able to tell if he's lying or not. Oh, Tilly, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Ivan. That's very kind of you, Tilly. Thank you, thank you. Ivan, enjoy your remote. Welcome to the Cozy Club, my friend, and welcome to Dungeons & Dragons. We play in a slightly unusual format, because usually D&D is played with a bunch of people, you know, each playing individual characters, but yeah. Welcome to this different experience. Okay, so I need an insight check from you, chat, as you ask this question to try and tell if he's lying or not. Yeah, there's a bunch of people. Skrit, actually, in the chat is the forerunner on our community D&D nights as well. He sets up some little adventures for the community for us. It's very kind of him. And there might be some people who might run some other sessions as well for us. Okay, closing the giveaway. Okay, Firefly. Firefly, hit us with the roll. Late entry, still get the dub. +5 to the roll here. Okay, so with a total of 19, as you look at him and his response, you feel fairly confident in this moment that he is not lying to you, that he is being very forthcoming and honest with you, and seems to get the sense that he's observed your group for long enough that he believes that you have no ill intent. You know that he knows that you are doing your best, and in order for you all to come out of this alive, hopefully, he needs to be as honest as possible, and holding back information does no one any good. He says to you, quite simply, I understand your skepticism, and to be perfectly honest with you, I would be more worried if you weren't, given the story I've just told you. I am indirectly responsible for everything that's happened. All of those lives lost to undeath. I may not have been the one who disturbed the monoliths. I may not have been the person who made the decision to do so. But I was there, and I did nothing to stop it. I played my part in this game, and so therefore I cannot absolve myself of responsibility. Know that I want this to come to an end. Know that I am so tired of this charade. And if saving this town requires my life, then that is a price I will pay for my sins. And then he just kind of slowly lowers his head in a moment of shame. So you also ask what he will do now. He says, well, at this point, I could pretend to carry on as normal. Pretend that I have not divulged information to you that is sensitive to the detriment of the High Shields. I could do that if you think that is the best course of action. Or if you feel you are ready and there is no use in delaying the inevitable, we could strike together now. It's Riley Cat. This is Riley. This is our little kitty. She's 2 years old. And she's very cute. And she loves cuddles with her papa. And she likes head rubs. You guys want a close-up? Hang on. Let me get this stupid microphone out of the way. Let's take a quick cat break. Quick cat break real quick. There she is. Hello. Hi, chat. Mwah. Hi, chat. Content. Hello. There we go, Riley. There we go. Kisses from chat. There we go. Okay, that's enough. Time to go. She's had enough. Okay, where are we at? Bye-bye, Riley. Okay. So, Aaron has proposed two options to you, chat. He will either stay here and act like everything is normal, right? And that may give you an element of surprise. Or he is willing to come with you to directly confront the High Shields. What would you like to do? Your choice, stay here, violence, hands up, come with. Okay. It's a couple of options there. Damn, Chowder! That's savage! That's deface. Someone's got some murder hobo inclinations, I think. Pledge fealty there too. Okay. So you decide to leave this choice up to Aaron. Wait, hang on. We've got Horny Chats coming in clutch. Horny Chat? Is Horny Chat gonna steal the show? Could happen. Your choice. Okay, we're gonna stop it there before the bonk hammer needs to come out. Okay. So you decide to leave this choice up to him. He decides that at this point in time, he is going to stay at the inn and he is going to keep an eye on the changes that happen. He is going to pay a keener eye, a lot more attention to the changes in the people, and he feels as though he might be able to help you in dissuading the locals to take up arms against you, to remind them of all of the good that you've done. So he will play the role of advocate, of adversary. Not adversary, sorry, as ambassador. How's it going, King? Great to see you, dude. We're jumping into things a little bit here, so I'm sorry if you feel like you're a little behind, but people can kind of explain how the game works as we go along. That's totally cool. So yeah, he's basically going to play double agent. Absolutely right, Max. So he says, I will pack up my things, and I will claim that I did not come across you this day, that you had already left the building by the time that I returned here to intercept you. Now, you are probably aware that there is a meeting being called. This will be to discuss what happened with the church burning down, to lay the groundwork for possibly blaming you and yours for what happened. So I leave this choice up to you. You may want to intercept, or you may want to, or interject. You may want to defend yourselves publicly, or you may want to proceed from the shadows, to stay out of the public light and find a way into the High Shield estate to confront them. What would you like to do, chat? Obviously, you can come up with your own solution. These are two things that Aaron has proposed for you. To go to the meeting, or to operate from the shadows. Yeah, that's good. Meeting or hide. Yeah, those are two good options to use. If you are interested, King, we do have a document, a nice little PDF that explains the story so far. Essentially, the way that things work is that it's an open voting system, which means that you type !vote space and then whatever your choice is going to be. So it can be anything you want. It just saves me from having to create 200 polls a day using the Twitch poll system. And then we also do dice giveaways throughout the session where people can win the chance to roll the D20 and see what the result will be. So you decide that you are going to operate from the shadows. Very good. Okay. So, give me a second here, chat. because I am going to need to just set up the Willowdale map real quick on another scene. And I can't remember exactly where that is. You prepare to head out into the early morning, hoping that what remains of the darkness afforded by the rising sun gives you some cover. Oh, thank you, King. I appreciate that. So, my question to you, chat. Which direction are you going? Okay? So this is the town of Willowdale, as you know it. Scroll out a little bit. The High Shield Estate is all the way in the northeast, up in the top right corner there. So it's some distance away if your goal is to head straight towards the High Shields. Or you could take a longer route and take a different direction. Right at the center of town is the Willow Halls, where this meeting is probably taking place that you've decided to avoid for now. As you look out into the rising morning, you see that the roads are, as best as you can tell, completely empty. It seems as though in the time that you've had these conversations, everybody has probably entered into the Willow Halls themselves for whatever is taking place there. This speech, this speech you assume to try and imply your role in what happened. Okay, so people want to head northeast towards the High Shield Estate. Okay, so you think to yourself, well, best not to take the path leading up through the center of town, instead to follow the roads and the tree line towards the east and then go around. So you begin to head in this direction under the cover of dim light. I need a stealth check from you, chat. This is going to be a check for everybody. So you'll be rolling once for yourself, once for Alden, and then I will roll for everybody else. So this is the point at which you can enter the giveaways, and then we will randomly determine who gets to roll this stealth check. Closing the giveaway for the first roll. This one is for your character, Philandria. Okay, QWERTY1342. Hit us with our first roll, please. So this will have a bonus of +9. That is an excellent first roll, QWERTY. So with a total of 25, you yourself are incredibly confident that you are able to guide some of your allies undercover without being discovered. So I'm going to open the giveaway once more. This one is for Owlden, your owlbear companion. Oh, wrong thing. Sorry. It should be open. There you go. Okay, so while we do this, I'm going to roll first for Roga. Buddy. The next roll is for Alaric. Okay. Cool. Closing the giveaway here for Alden's stealth giveaway. QWERTY again! Okay, QWERTY. Let's see if you can go keep up the streak. Okay, QWERTY. 12 plus 9 is still above 20, which is an excellent roll. Good job. Fantastically done. What a start to your dice rolling career here in the stream. So both you and Alden are light on your foot, deftly navigating undergrowth and tree line, dipping behind cover as best as you feel you possibly can in this circumstance. However, Roga is struggling. Luckily, this does not cause too much issue, as between the rest of your group, you're able to avoid some of the more serious instances where Roga could have alerted anybody within a reasonable vicinity to your movements, and you continue to move quite quietly. You're traveling for about 25 minutes as you are traveling quite slowly, trying to go unnoticed, before you notice something a little out of the ordinary. You had seen that the roads were empty before. Nobody was traveling them, no one was waiting. Everybody seemingly having entered into the willow holes. However, about 100 foot away or so, towards the east, further down this road. Sorry, Riley is demanding head scratches. One sec. Further down this road, you can see that there are lit torches that have been impaled into the ground. These sconces illuminating the road and several figures standing there in a small cluster. As you look a little bit more keenly, you can clearly make out that there are, best you can tell, 2 armed guards. 2 individuals who seem to be dressed a little bit more in kind of casual wear. And there's one silhouette, one individual that you are able to recognize from prior experience. You can see, dressed in fairly formal but practical dress clothes, a white shirt and dark black trousers, or pants, if you're from the other side of the ocean. This jet black hair running down to the shoulders and then pulled into a braid that rests across the left shoulder is Akara Highshield, and she is talking to these individuals while simultaneously looking around for any signs of movement. So, on the road ahead of you, about 100 feet, there is Akara Highshield and what seems to be 2 guards, 2 armed guards, and 2 other individuals. So a total of 5 people standing in this illuminated space along the road. Let me just switch. Here we go. That'll do. So you're not actually here. Let me just move you out of the way a little bit. So you are, in fact, further down here towards the tree line, but I'll put you around here because this is about where you are. Oh, you can't really see that either. So this will have to do for now. So they are up there in the top right corner. You are down here in the bottom left. So you can see this figure standing there. They're having some kind of murmured conversation. All of them are looking around, so you know that they are actively looking for someone or something. Context giving you some hint as to what that might be. I realize I can just zoom out, and that makes it easier as well. So, what would you like to do, chat? You can see this scouting party, perhaps, waiting here. What would you like to do? You can obviously avoid and try to sneak past them if you want. You can wait and see what happens. Or you could approach them. would be the three obvious choices, but obviously you're free to make up whatever decisions you want to do. It doesn't seem at this point that they have noticed you, by the way. Offer sandwich. It's only a matter of time. Okay, so you decide to wait for some time to see if there's any change. You wait for about 10 minutes. There are moments of silence between them, and then they seem to get to some kind of conversation. You're a bit too far away to hear what they are talking about. But there's these pauses, and then there's brief moments of conversation, some of them obviously shorter than others, depending on the matter being discussed. But they don't seem to be moving anywhere. About half an hour passes. The sun is now about to kind of properly crest the horizon and bring daylight upon you. So you are now aware of the fact that the cover being afforded to you by what's left of the night is rapidly dissipating and disappearing. That advantage is soon to leave you. So what would you like to do? I will note that with your ability to perceive things, they are not weapons drawn. Akara does not seem to brandish any kind of weapon whatsoever. However, you notice from a little bit of a closer distance that she appears to have her arm in a sling. The two individuals behind, they seem to be fairly young, one in their mid-20s, probably human from this distance. And then there is also a younger halfling, probably late teens, by their size and demeanor, behind those armed guards as well. Okay, so we got sneak up. We got sneak up alone. That's true. You are aware that your allies are not quite as good at avoiding detection as you are. Roga definitely seems to have picked up Trink's mantle in his absence. Max violence? Max, what do you have to say about this? Explain yourself, Max. Okay, so we'll need some kind of group think here to proceed. Because right now we have a couple, but they are spelt differently or anything like that, so you'll need to kind of go with the same options to get them on the board. Okay, so you decide to sneak up alone. Okay, I need a new stealth check from you, chat, as the circumstances have changed. So, exclamation mark, dice to enter, +9 to the roll. This is the hardest roll for you to fail, but it may still be possible. Where is this? Okay. Okay, closing the giveaway. King of da hip hop. Let's go, dude. Inaugural roll. Let's get it. Okay, King, exclamation mark roll, please. And we add 9 to the result of this roll. Let's see if we can get some beginner's luck. Not bad, dude. So with a total of 19, you begin wandering outwards. You get to the next tree along the tree line, getting a little bit closer. And again, you notice a number of details. It seems as though Akara Highshield, her face is slightly dirtied. Again, she seems to be clutching at an arm that is in some kind of sling, as if she has suffered some kind of injury. You don't know exactly how severe it might have been. You can also see that there is kind of dirt on her trousers, on her shoes, as if she has been in some kind of altercation. But she seems otherwise quite alert and is looking around. There is a moment where you make what you believe is an imperceptible rustling of leaves, but it seems to catch her attention. She doesn't seem to know whether or not someone is truly there, but she's aware of some kind of movement in your direction. So with a 19, it seems like she picked up on something, but doesn't seem to know exactly what. Is there anything you do upon realizing this? Just want to see what your reaction is first. Try not to fart. Herb. I love how that's the only thing on the screen right now. That's great. Am I being helpful? Well, we'll find out. We're about to do a Constitution saving throw to try and hold in that fart. It's too late, chat. Okay, I need a Constitution saving throw from you, please. As you realize you really need to fart at this exact inopportune moment. Yo, shout out to anybody calling you out of the woodworks here if you want to enter a fart check. Yo, call out to the lurkers. Anybody want to do a fart check real quick? And they all come crawling out. Okay, closing the giveaway. King! Of course it's King. Okay, so you call upon the power of the spirits to try and help you hold in this dank gas real quick. I will have to... Okay. So... Hold on. So your con's a +1. Unfortunately, the check doesn't actually contribute to saving throws. So I will refund you your points, Herb, but it was funny for the memes. So with a total of 6, you stop mid-stride as you notice that she has noticed something, and then you just let out a very quick... this tiny little squeak. And you kind of look instinctively towards her, kind of like tensing your face up. And then you hear her voice calling, "All right, I don't know what you are, but I know there's something behind that tree over there. Reveal yourself if you are able to understand what that means." What do you do? Do you reveal yourself? Fart louder. Herb, it's time to stop. Why didn't you learn a lesson here? It's pretty funny, though. Imagine if there's a TPK because somebody really wanted to fart real quick. Negotiate? Okay. What happened to no solo blame? That's for new people. They get an excuse. You, on the other hand, Herb, your behavior is escalating. It's totally fine. I'm just messing about. It's great. I love it. Okay, so you choose to try and engage in some kind of negotiations. So you emerge from the tree line and you begin to walk closer towards the path, keeping a safe distance. I'll say, in fact, you move towards the the cart here to provide some kind of cover. In fact, I'll see you go around the other side. That makes a bit more sense. And you call out, pleading, revealing you have some kind of knowledge of why they may be trying to accost you, and stating that you wish to come to some kind of negotiation and avoid coming to blows. So I need a persuasion check from you, chat. Yeah, -2, King. Big whopping -2. Oh, Falcon with a check bonus. Okay, so this neutralizes our penalty, bringing it to a flat roll. Thank you, Falcon. So the charisma is now going to be a 0 modifier. I'm never going to stop thinking about it as a fart bonus now. Yeah, especially with the fucking smoke graphics. Jeez. Gonna have to change that now. Okay, let me have a look here at my OneNote while we wait. Okay, closing the giveaway. Max. Okay, Max. Hits with a persuasion check. Whatever we get on the dice is what we take. It's not great. It's not great. Okay. So, you call out, requesting parley, requesting some kind of peace talk. And Akara calls back towards you as you are some distance away. Well, that's rich. Coming from someone who just obliterated a whole section of the town. Not to mention everyone's loved ones. Tell me, criminal, what do you have to say for yourself? It might be worth making your peace now, as opposed to when we have you in chains. Is there anything else you want to say, chat? You got any gems in your back pocket? Fart. Derailed! You're the superior high shield queen? Here's the thing, chat. Aaron did tell you that you could try and appeal to her vanity. I love how there's 2 votes now. I'm not gonna say exactly the way it is in the vote. I will abridge. I will amend it. Okay, so that's what we're going with. So you speak back to her as you duck behind cover here now. You actually remove yourself from view, calling out to the pathway, to Akara directly, flattering her with the notion somewhere along the lines of that you know that she is the better of her and her husband. You know that if there is anyone that can negotiate a way out of this situation without anybody getting hurt, then it has to be her. Basically just playing towards her vanity and trying to convince her that she's the only person that could resolve this situation in a way that is best for everyone involved. Okay, I need another persuasion check from you, chat. This is with advantage. So this is your, in a sense, your last chance to try and resolve this peacefully. Okay, now Herb's coming in with the check. Okay, no problem. Fart check, 1, 2. Okay, closing the giveaway. This is the first dice roll. King of the Hip Hop again. Okay, King. So this is our first roll. This will create our baseline for advantage. What are we going to get? This does not have a negative modifier, thanks to the spirit bonus. Okay, so our baseline is a 7. So you feel this energy that has become stronger, more powerful. The voice is louder to you as they speak to you and try to aid you or sometimes impair you. In this moment, they are a little bit distracting. But there may be a chance that some of the other voices, some of the other spirits might breach this cacophony of distraction and help you out. So this is the second roll. Yeah, make sure you wait till you see it on the screen. I understand wanting to get in early, but... Okay. Closing the giveaway. Max. Okay, Max. The baseline is 9. Let's see what you got. This still gets the bonus of the check bonus. Okay, it's a little better. So, as this conversation develops, Akara seems to be softening to the idea as you're playing to her vanity, which lowers the difficulty significantly as well. And she says, well, I'm not going to have peace talks with someone hiding behind a cart. So if you wish to speak, we will speak face to face. Is that agreeable to you? So, opening another vote. Do you agree? As she begins to move out away from her guard, essentially. They don't have archers, right? Not that you can see, no. There are only the 2 peoples who seem to be brandishing swords, maces, and shields. And then 2 behind them, which don't seem to be holding any weapons at all. Okay, so I'm not going to let this nonsense go any longer. So you agree. And you move out from behind the barrels. Sorry, behind the cart. And you are now face to face. So you're now getting a closer look at her. You can see that despite, you know, having a hand in this sling, it is bandaged up. It is placed slightly under the right arm and kind of across the right rib cage, essentially. If you imagine it's kind of braced quite close to her body. You also notice that she is wearing a quite distinct red cape that rests over her shoulders and goes down to about her middle back, and also seems to have some kind of hood that is currently obviously resting on her back as well. Visually, it is very distinct to the point of you immediately assuming that this may be some kind of magical item, because it definitely was not chosen to mix well with her current attire, which is this very formal dress wear of this white shirt, this dark waistcoat, and these dark brown, almost black pants leading down to brown boots. It is a distinct visual element. Okay. So, she leans in towards you as she begins to speak. Ah, now that's better, don't you think? Listen. I'm assuming by the fact that you're here, either you snuck by Aaron, or you killed him. So, which one is it? What has happened to my dear cluster brother? Opening the poll. I get oop. Ooh. Okay, so you say you snuck past. Okay, give me a deception check, chat. Snuck is such a weird word. It really is. It doesn't sound right, does it? So as you try to deceive her, this is a deception check. Okay, Shadow squared with the check bonus. Thank you very much, Shadow. All right. So this brings it to another flat roll, closing the giveaway. Ivan, congratulations on your dice roll here, Ivan. If you type !roll, you will roll the dice. So this will be whatever number comes up, no modifier. 12. Okay, I need to roll as well. Okay. So she looks at you. Psh, please. I was hoping by talking directly, just me and you, we could at the very least be honest with one another. You can't do me that small favor? So she very clearly knows that you're bullshitting. So, either he's dead or he let you go. I suppose at this point it doesn't really matter. However, we have matters to discuss. Don't you think? So, hang on. Let me just go to my notes. Let's recap, shall we? Now, you showed up here, seemingly out of nowhere. A mysterious air crash to the north results in the death of nearly 100 souls on the ship, and 4 adventurers, including you, survive, miraculously. Little strange, and for some reason, everywhere they go, dark forces take hold. Across the land, underneath, underground, above it, it seems it's quite difficult for you to not stumble into circumstances that complicate things. One would say that you either attract danger or you cause it. At any rate, at the heart of all of these strange, unknowable, eldritch artifacts, you decide to set ablaze a symbol of hope for these people, these poor people. And now that the gods have been angered again, these people are thrust into grief once more. Seems cruel, don't you think? A very convenient tale, I would almost say. Now, I have a lot of experience with grieving people, and I know that they don't take kindly to meddling, opportunistic adventurers taking things from them. Now, I will be the first to be honest in this conversation when I say that you can trust me when I say from these points alone, there is no story that I cannot weave that doesn't end up with you in shackles or worse. What little good faith you have earned with the locals, I will smother in the ashes of your blasphemy. Now, do not believe that I am not without mercy and reason. I can't imagine that you did what you did without good reason. So, why don't you tell me why you decided to meddle? What would compel you to burn down that church? So, you can, obviously you can tell her the truth, or you can make up a lie. It's up to you. I cannot hate her when she looks like Evangeline Lily. I can send you the high res if you want, Herb. For simping purposes. Haha, that would be so funny, haha. It's so funny. Okay, so you exclaim to her in a hushed voice that you are aware of their secret. You tell her that you know that they are not what they seem, that they came here to essentially instigate the undead plague, and that they are in no way close to finding a cure if they have ever attempted to, and that they are just as afraid of their benefactors as you could possibly be of them. So you say that you know that the buck doesn't stop with the high shields. It goes much higher. It goes much further. She seems shocked. I need you to give me an intimidation check, chat. Do 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 do. Give her the old no you. Dang. Okay, closing the giveaway. Intrepid Firefly, please hit us with the roll. So, as the sun continues to rise and the space becomes more illuminated, you do your best to try and avoid confrontation. With a total of, let me just check your intimidation real quick. Use your strength in this case. Okay, that's fine. So that brings us to plus 3? 2? Plus 2. Okay, so a total of 14. She almost stumbles backwards. Stifles some kind of gasp. But when she kind of regains her therewithal, there's a look of frustration on her face. Very well. So you have information. Good for you. However, information won't allow you to weasel your way out of this one. What is your plan exactly? Are you going to wander the town, slaying no-gooders until there's no one left but the pure? Really, I met many heroic types in my day. It can't be that simple. Sorry, Riley's back. What is your play here? So, how do you respond to this question? What is your play? What is your plan? What are you actually going to do? And are you going to disclose it to Akara High Shield? Pet Riley, I'm doing it, chat. You can vote for something else. Play to vanity again, you can do it. Plan, we just play it by ear. Dang, that's intricate. Okay. So as you say this, you claim that you're just playing it by ear. You're doing what all good adventurers do, which is wing it. She looks to you and she scoffs. So it really was that simple. Huh. Can't say I'm entirely surprised, but I will admit to being slightly disappointed. You always struck me as incredibly interesting, and I must say, I am intrigued by you. For whatever reason, no matter what I ask of my connections, no one seems to have any information on you whatsoever. It's curious because groups like yours are a rare breed. You'd think people would notice a halfling, a tiefling, a cat, an owl bear, and a turtle traveling together, and yet no one has. So tell me, you wing it, you fight me here, you fight these people here who are simply fighting for the well-being of their loved ones. Then what? You go, you kill my husband, liberate the town, and then that's it. What about the monoliths? What will you do about them? It seems to me that you are willing to wing something that, dare I say, you have no idea how to solve. Even if you kill us, doesn't solve the problem. Just removes a thorn. I, however, have a different solution. You see, I was sent here to make you a scapegoat. Now, the problem is, there are enough people here who like you that you could end up being some kind of martyr. And my husband, Matur, thinks too simply about these things, doesn't consider them. He's more of a, I'll deal with it after it happens sort of fellow, but I would rather avoid problems. So if you're not going to be the scapegoat, someone will need to be. Now, if you wish to avoid coming to blows, I am willing to work with you towards a solution. I think that together we could come up with some kind of solution to this problem. I mean, you've survived this far when others would have perished. That kind of strength and resolve could be useful. So, what I suggest is your friends come out from behind the grass over there, and we have ourselves a good old brainstorm. What do you say? Okay, opening the poll. Yes, Queen. Fucking jeez. No worries, Beastie. What was the last thing you remember, Beastie? We don't have any goats. Oh, shit. The start of the lady talk. Okay, so basically there was some back and forth. You basically admitted to not having a plan. And so she decided that instead of fighting you, there was a possibility of coming to some kind of agreement on her terms. And she is asking you whether or not you are interested. The first step being to have your allies emerge from the tree line. Okay, so you agree, and you summon your allies out into the road with you. Immediately, a Akara notices that Trenk is not present. Oh! That's a hell of a fucking roll, Akara. Curious. Can't help but notice the absence of your side piece? Your halfling friend traveling with you. I was under the impression that that kind of friendship, well, can't think of a single reason why he'd leave your side. Oh, so that's what it was. You lost him back there, and that's why you burned down the church. Crime of passion. Well, I must say, that is surprising. But that kind of instinct, I respect. So, you've lost a friend. Now you're looking for some kind of retribution. Okay, listen, I bear no judgment for that. Can't say I relate, but it's not the first time I've heard such a story. So, we need a new scapegoat. Now, obviously, given this situation, I wouldn't put it past a fanatic of sorts to see what has happened in the Forlorn Parish and perhaps make a poor judgment. I'm aware that your companion, Trenk, was a healer of sorts. Now, healers don't tend to take kindly to undead. Trust me, I happen to be one of them. I've heard all about it from my teachers and co-workers. It's a perfect solution. Zealot enters an area full of undead and decides to purge it. Unfortunately, he doesn't come out alive. No one needs to know that you had anything to do with it. How do you respond? As she essentially is entertaining the idea of putting all of the responsibility on Trenk, that he went off alone, being somewhat of a religious zealot in his own right, decreeing the undead to be an abomination and therefore purging them. Okay, so we have some options for attacking. So this is a valid option. She's proposed something that might provoke you to take such an action. While we're voting, give me an insight check, chat. While you're figuring out what you want to do. Let's see what you can tell about her body language and the way she's speaking. Okay, so you're opting for a no, a strong no, that you will not be willing to do this. Closing the giveaway. Kaya. Okay, Kaya, give us the roll, please. So your insight's +5. Okay, so a total of 16. You can very clearly tell this probably wasn't her only solution, but she took an opportunity to test your resolve. She was testing to see if she could goad you into attacking her first, because that would obviously solve one of her problems. If the witnesses here, namely the guards and the other two individuals, you're not sure what capabilities they have, were to witness you attack her in the midst of a peace talk, then she could use that as leverage. So you do your best to calm yourself, and you say that that is not an option. Very well. Well, there's always the dwarf gentleman that you rescued a day or so ago, down in the tunnels, correct? He seemed to have spent a little bit too much time with that monolith down there. Maybe he got a little bit close to the sun. What do you say here? So this is Doki, the dwarf that attacked you down in the tunnels, who had seemingly come under the influence of one of these monoliths that you discovered down there. The legend of Icarus exists across all multiverses. Sometimes it's just, sometimes they're called Isaac. Sometimes they're called Joe. You know? Joe the human who flew too close to the sun. It's a good tale. Lots of lessons to be learned. It's always Joe. Frame husband. Interesting, chat. Interesting. Okay, so you're throwing out a new option here. Okay, chat. I need a persuasion check from you. With advantage. Because again, you are playing to the strengths. You heard earlier from Aaron. Oh, check bonus as well. You heard earlier from Aaron that she had been lamenting the fact that she is not running the operation. And that she thinks that she should be in charge. So you're playing off information you were given, which gives you an edge. So this will be with advantage, and the number you have to meet, the difficulty class, will be a lot lower than the previous checks, once again. So exclamation mark dice to enter. Closing the giveaway for the first dice roll. QWERTY. Okay, QWERTY, give us our first roll here. This sets the baseline for the advantage check. So this will, thanks to Herb's check bonus, be another flat roll. Okay, so the first one is a 1. Thank goodness we have advantage. So, it literally can't get worse, chat. This is the good news. It literally can't get worse. You got the natural 1 out of the way. It's time for the swing. It's time for the swing. Second dice roll is opened. The good news is no one can shame whoever rolls this dice next because there's no way they can do worse. I know, so considerate, Max. Yo, can I get a shout out to QWERTY for making sure that no one else feels bad? What a hero play. That's like throwing yourself on the grenade. Hello, Grindbox. Welcome to the stream. Okay, closing the giveaway. Beastie. Okay, Beastie. Let's see what you got. Flat roll. No modifiers. It's a 15, chat! Let's go, Beastie! Okay. So, despite the fact that there were moments during this conversation where you were worried that it was backfiring on you, you just every time managing to pull it back, managing to roll those checks over 10, and you are now able to swing the conversation in your favor now. I run chat inclusive D&D too. I had to check it out. That's awesome, Grindbox. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking it out. Appreciate that. Okay, so swinging the conversation back in your favor, you suggest, at first tentatively, and then you start to encourage it throughout the conversation, that you know that she thinks she should be in charge. You know that she thinks that this whole operation would have turned out differently if you had been, or she had been in charge from the beginning. All of this time wasted when you could have been coming up with ideas. When I say you mean you're talking to her. When she could have been running the show, when she could have been coming up with a plan, when she could have been running the experiments, choosing the next course of action. everything could have been done so much differently if it had been her and not him. It is at this point that a revelation is revealed to you. I'm inclined to agree, actually. You see, to be perfectly honest with you, this whole marriage thing is not real. Matur may be in charge of our cluster, but there is very little that ties us together past that. I am quite honestly sick of his shit. I am sick of listening to that old fool bang on about things he barely understands himself. So, if we can come to such an agreement, I am willing to aid you in your endeavors to overthrow him. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, I have very little interest in solving this problem. In curing the undead, all that stuff. Not interested. As far as I'm concerned, impossible, waste of time. What I want to do is leave. And I want to leave and I want to disappear. Because I know there is no way out of this situation in which the people that Matur owes allegiance to will not come for me as well. So, if we can come up with a way to overthrow him and leave this place, I am willing to lend you all of my resources and information available to me. Does that sound like a deal? Opening the vote, sorry. Do you agree? Okay, seems like people are willing to agree to these terms. So, deciding to come to some kind of agreement here, you disclose the fact that you are in fact also working with Aaron, so you will not be working alone. And that together between your group, yourself, Roga, Alaric, Aaron now, as well as Akara, you may be able to come up with a plan that will leave you able to not only overthrow Matur and remove him from whatever seat of power he has, whatever power he has over the town, and then from there, there will be some kind of peace agreement between you. There will be no ongoing hostilities. My question to you now, chat, is there anything that you want to ask her about or reveal to her outside of the immediate circumstances? Because she strikes you as someone with a wealth of knowledge and experience. Are there any questions you want to ask her? It doesn't directly have to relate to the crisis at hand, but any other information. Yeah, you could ask about Matthias, that's true. She would be the person to ask about that. As you have been told that there may be some way to bring him onto your side as well. Hi, Riley. Riley's back. Okay, so you decide to ask about Matthias. She kind of taps her fingers on her bound arm for a few seconds in thought, looking up kind of to the top right. You know what? That's an excellent point. I mean, in terms of getting more muscle, you don't get more muscly than that. Now, listen, I don't want to get into a position where I'm attempting to brag about something I'm not capable of. So I will be honest, I do not possess the immediate ability to return his mental facilities. But there are scrolls within the keep, the estate that we own, that would allow me to do so. I am magically inclined myself, so if we find the scroll we need, I will be able to cast the magic myself. So if we are able to arrange a situation in which we can bring Matthias with us to the scene or quickly escort myself to him after I return to the keep, then we will have ourselves our distraction or our meat shield. Sorry, that sounds cruel, but looking around, I can't really see any of you are that well versed in taking a beating. At this, by the way, Roga kind of scowls and grunts at her, reaching down towards his quarterstaff. Both an insult to him and also to your halfling companion who's passed away literally hours ago. Very well then. What's the plan? Do we head straight to the estate? Or are we going elsewhere? We may get the element of surprise if we head there soon. You see, my dear husband is currently in the meeting with the town. He won't be present. We might be able to get ahead of him. Though I will disclose, he has measures set up around the building to notify him when someone enters the premises. So we will have mere moments upon arriving with which to do our business before he teleports back. It will be quick, his return. So, storm the halls and intervene directly? Or should we make a break for the estate itself? What do you want to do? Do you want to go to the estate or the town meeting? So this is essentially going to set up what we do next session. Heading towards the town meeting will mean that there will be a lot of civilians around. That can be a bonus or a con, depending on how you look at it. It will make the affair much more public. However, Matur will have less immediate means to backup or fortification. On the flip side, the estate means that the fight will be a lot more isolated, secluded from the public. You may be able to get Matthias on your side before the fight starts, depending on how you approach it. But you will be in hostile territory. That's the con, and it's a big con. Okay, so you choose to venture towards the estate, hoping that you can get there and do what you need to do to prepare yourselves before Matur returns back with the revelation that he has been betrayed by not one, but two of his allies. That is where we will end the session today, and we will carry on next session with your journey towards the estate and what will unfold once you reach it.